It was a busy day on the recruiting trail for the Red Raiders, and they added 3 commitments via the transfer portal. In today's video, we'll discuss the latest 2 as the Red Raiders landed an SEC transfer wide receiver and one of the best DBs north of the border. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video. We just hit 9K here on the Back to 12 podcast channel. A sincere thank you to everyone that watches, interacts, and really just tells their friends about the channel here. We pride ourselves on giving you the quickest information and the most accurate information, but more importantly, being the most engaging Texas Tech community on Twitter. A safe place for all of Red Raider Nation to give their thoughts, even if we don't agree sometimes. That's what we built here on the Back to 12 podcast channel. So a sincere thank you to everyone that has subscribed, interacted, or told their friends about this channel. We look to get to 10K here in not too long, but in today's video, we're going to discuss the latest transfer commitments for the Red Raiders, the 2 latest, and I mentioned it's a wide receiver and a DB, but before we do that, I want to ask you guys one question, right? What's the one word to describe Joey McGuire and crew on the recruiting trail? I mean, this is ridiculous what they're doing right now in terms of the portal. Is it going to be ranked in the top 10? No, probably not. But in terms of specific needs for the Red Raiders, they are addressing them at a high quality level, in my opinion, at least. I want to hear from you guys, though. Your one word to describe Joey McGuire and crew on the recruiting trail, specifically in the transfer portal. All right, I accidentally pressed the button in terms of to tell you who the commitment was. You may have seen that here just a second ago. But let's talk about him now. As Texas Tech lands the commitment of Florida wide receiver Caleb Payday Douglas. That's a hell of a nickname, and one that I am going to look forward to saying a lot, hopefully, next year in 2024. He's a 6'3", 200-pound wide receiver, originally from Missouri City, Texas, Hightower High School down there. He has 2 years of eligibility left. And during his time down in Gainesville with the Gators, he had 21 catches, 308 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Now, he was actually a starting wide receiver for the Gators last year, but unfortunately had an injury in 2023 to his lower leg that made him miss the final 7 games of the Gators season. But he was on track to have a big day and really just big year for the Gators in general. And he's a guy, in my opinion, that changes the outside for Texas Tech. He is a guy that right away can come in, start at wide receiver. I expect him to be in competition for the starting X wide receiver spot over on the side with Coy Aiken. And now it's kind of transformed your wide receiver room in the sense of you have a big guy on the outside that can also be a big play wide receiver. And those 50-50 balls that they talk about all the time for wide receivers, he's a guy that turns those to 70-30, 75-25 in his favor. He's that kind of guy. I'll post a highlight down in the comments below to show you guys what kind of wide receiver Texas Tech is getting in Caleb Payday Douglas. And I guess I shouldn't say the nickname all the time. Caleb Douglas, again, a Missouri City, Texas native. He is a guy that once I saw that Texas Tech had interest in the portal, my eyebrows got, a little raised there a little bit. I was like, oh, okay. And now Texas Tech lands him, and he is a guy that, in my opinion, will have an instant impact in terms of the wide receiver group for the Red Raiders starting next year in 2024. All right, let's jump to the next commitment on the defensive side of the ball. And I'm not even going to act like I know how to pronounce this college in Canada. I'm just not. But I do know how to pronounce the commit's name. It is Devynn Cromwell. He is 6'1", 200 pounds. He committed to Texas Tech just like Douglas did. And, it was a busy day for the Red Raiders on December 13th, landing 3 commitments from the transfer portal. If you want to hear about the offensive lineman that Texas Tech got from Toledo, go to the previous video on the channel, do an in-depth rundown and skill breakdown of everything that he brings to Texas Tech. But on Cromwell, he is a fast DB, runs 4.3 in terms of the 40-yard dash, and is a 2-time All-Canadian DB as well. He had an offer list including Texas Tech, West Virginia, and a couple other Power 5 schools. We've talked about him here on the channel in terms of Texas Tech having high interest in him. But now you land him, and he is just everything that Texas Tech wants in a DB. Let's just be real about it. You think about Texas Tech and what they've preached in terms of the kind of player they want. They want a physical, fast and violent player, that's what Cromwell is. He is a lengthy DB, 6'1", 6'2", 200 pounds, fast as hell, and he is one of those guys on the outside that can make a difference. Now, do I think he's going to be a starting DB for Texas Tech? I don't know. I think you're going to have some guys out there. Obviously, the Baylor transfer and AJ. You got Braylon Lux on one side as well. Those are probably your presumed starting corners going into 2024 if you're the Red Raiders. But Cromwell brings a certain skill set that is needed in that secondary, but also can be translated to the special teams aspect of the game where he can be a gunner and really just help the Texas Tech special teams unit as well. So I'm really excited about this one from the standpoint of, again, Texas Tech is sticking to the script that they have preached year in and year out, I guess 2 years now, for Texas Tech and this new crew of Joey McGuire and his staff in terms of what they are targeting in players in the transfer portal, guys that can immediately help in certain aspects that have potential but are fast, violent, and lengthy, specifically at the cornerback spot. And Cromwell fits that to a T. Now, overall, let's look at the current list of portal commits for the Red Raiders. This is as of December 13th, 2023. It'll be down at the bottom of your screen below. You've got the defensive tackle from Hutch Community College and Danny Seeley. You've also got Alex Lyons. You've got Cameron Brown, the quarterback transfer from West Georgia. If you see an asterisk next to their name, they are preferred walk-on. It'll be Brown and Gooch in terms of those two guys are the preferred walk-ons for Texas Tech. Everybody else listed here at the bottom of your screen is a scholarship player. You've got Jovan Jackson from Fairmont State, another DB. You've got Jalen Conyers, a West Texas guy. I'm going to say it. I think the Panhandle's West Texas. That's just me. A homecoming of sorts for him. Then you've got your punter for next season in Jack Burgess as well from Weber State. I already mentioned Gooch. He is from Garden City Community College. Then you've got Vinny Scurry, the guy that you should go listen to the previous video in terms of an in-depth breakdown of what Texas Tech is getting with him at the guard position. Hint, hint, it's really freaking good. And then you've got Caleb Douglas as well as Devynn Cromwell as well. So 10 guys right now, 8 scholarship players, as well as 2 preferred walk-ons as of December 13th, 2023. Now, before we get out of here, one more time, be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay in the know on Texas Tech football, whether that's the latest breaking news or rumors. And that's exactly what we have right now is a rumor from 24/7. You've got Steve Wiltfong and Matt Zentis. They put in a crystal ball prediction, and for those that don't know what a crystal ball prediction is over on 24/7, it's basically these insiders saying, hey, we've got enough intel that we think X is going to happen. And in this scenario, it is regarding Washington State wide receiver Josh Kelly. These two gentlemen over at 24/7 Sports have both put in a crystal ball prediction, a joint one I might add, that has Texas Tech landing the Washington State wide receiver, a highly coveted wide receiver, arguably the best wide receiver in the transfer portal cycle. They have projected Texas Tech to land the commitment of Washington State wide receiver Josh Kelly. Listen, when this happens, and if it does, you know right away what we're going to do for you here on this channel. We're going to have a video. So hit that subscribe button, like the video, and turn on that notification bell so you can stay in the know on Texas Tech football, not only on the gridiron all year long, but off of it as well in terms of the latest breaking news, rumors, and everything recruiting for Texas Tech football. We've got you covered right here on the most engaging Texas Tech community on YouTube, and now 9,000 strong. Thank y'all again for that right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.